Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Saturday morning, March 6th. We are looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. I'm going to do a complete wrap-up of yesterday's action and the week's action on the IWM, QQQs, and SPY, including their charts. First and foremost, though, I want to throw out a big thank you to John Guys, who has been a good friend of mine for over 25 years. I was fortunate enough to mentor him on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange as he was my trading assistant, and then became a specialist right alongside of me, and again behind the screen now for the past bunch of years. Whatever trading room you're in, it's incredibly invaluable to have people who have done this, both on a trading floor and behind the screen, that have the knowledge, skill, experience, demeanor, you name it, to handle all these type of markets. And included in that is a room full of excellent traders that we have, many of them former floor traders, but just the group as a whole, the knowledge that they add is priceless at CamelbackTrading.org. All right, let's get to what transpired yesterday since I wasn't here. Let's start first with the Russell. So right now the Russell on the daily is down, and we're one-time framing down, as you can see, 4 days. Now, we had tremendous rallies yesterday, but everything has to be put in perspective. These last 10 trading days, for the most part, have shown no follow-through on either side when you think either the bulls or bears are taking control. Right, we pushed down on Thursday. They opened. Market was too short overnight. The market was short during the day. You think you'd get an inventory adjustment Friday morning, and what happens? We drive straight down. This is the Russell we're looking at. We had open and drives down in the SPY and Russell. I'll have to look at the Qs when we get to it, only to get a total V-shaped recovery. Russell goes out with a price probe as they take out the day's high in M period. They do not have a trend day, though. But again, the bigger picture is, for now, they're still down the daily. All this is kind of put them back in balance, but they're still one-time framing down. Triple Qs, they're one-time framing down. Now, they almost had an outside day down on the second, but they didn't. They took out, remember, they gapped higher, look above, fail, and almost traded at the previous end. So they're only one-time framing down 3 days, but they are still one-time framing down. And again, not so much an open and drive, but took back the trend day from Thursday, push down, push lower, sellers fail, take it all the way back up. They go out with not only a price probe, but the trend day up. And for the SPY and ES, we stopped the one-time framing down the daily. So for now, I will be calling the daily balance. I'll call just a 2-day balance, Thursday and Friday. Right? If we take out Friday's high and start getting back into this large balance, then we can make it a larger balance. But for now, just call it a 2-day balance to see if all this was a short covering and FOMO buying rally towards the end of the day. Remember, volatility and volume, that's the lifeline of a trader. But just as important with that is knowing how to use the market-generated information with that volume and volatility. If you do, that's great. If you don't, it's no help whatsoever, and in fact could be very, very dangerous. Now, obviously, I did not trade yesterday. I wasn't here. We took out the day's high a lot earlier than some of the other ones did. Triple Qs didn't take it out. Well, they took it out in I and came back, but we really accelerated above once we took ours out. We did get a pullback in J. This is going to be a very visual area come Monday. There's a lot of things now, and how the bulls have many areas that they could use to defend. But we've seen over these last 2 weeks, those go away so quickly. They have a price probe to lean on. They have a set of single prints. And then this area here is huge. You have J's low as the afternoon pullback low, and you can even use A's high as where change took place. Destinations below that on the downside are very slim. So if they don't hold this is where you get the sellers to pile in again, because we're really talking about Friday's low and then the weekly low, which held the previous monthly low. That was a great goal line stand on Thursday and again on Friday by the bulls to hold the monthly low, which the triple Qs did not do this week. Okay. Let's go over destinations, and then we'll go over the charts. So for Monday's destination, first one on the upside will be Friday's high of 384.76. And then above that, we have the afternoon rally high of 385.83 from the third, 386.83 daily high, 388.22 9 wide from March 2nd, and 390.07 daily. I'm sorry. Yeah, 390.07 daily high. Okay, I wrote the wrong thing there. 390.07 daily high. For the downside, we have the price probe. That's L's high of 383.68. Then you have the single prints. They start at L's low, get filled at I's high, 382.49 to 381.88, 61 cents. Now, I'm going to use J's low. That's the important one to me, although you can look at A's high, 379.92. That's your afternoon pullback low. That's where sellers attempted one last time to get back into the entire day's range, got rejected, and then KL&M exploded to the upside. Then we have 372.64, Friday's low, and 371.88, that weekly low, which held against the monthly low. Now, let's go to the charts. I'm going to start with, we're going to break it down, Russell, Qs, and SPY. So here's the Russell. They defended last month's low. Last month's low is 205.76. We got to 207.21. And we closed all the way up at, what's the last sale? 221 and change? Is that it? I'm not even sure what it is. Yep, 220 or 219. Anyway, we are one time framing up 5 months, not even including this month yet. It's only the first weekend. I'll just leave it for now. But one time framing up 5 months. Monthly still healthy. We're inside the previous month, but so far, still very healthy. Now, weekly, different story. Weekly's one time framing down now, 2 weeks. We held the bottom, so we went balance up here. Actually, we're one time framing down 3 weeks. I apologize. I keep missing this week. So we went balance, bull, balance, and now we went bear. Right? They don't go bull bear. Went balance, then to bear. They did hold, for the most part, this low. I said it was around the 205 level. We got to 207.21. But we still have not taken out the previous week's high. Until we do that, we are still down. So they're one time framing down for 3 weeks in the Russell. And then on the daily, again, one time framing down 4 days. Tremendous recovery from Friday above the 50-day moving average, but it's still down, one time framing down 4 days. We need to take out Friday's high to put us back in balance. Triple Qs. Now they're the ones that have had the most damage done. Why? Because they stopped one time framing up in the longest time frame, which is the monthly. And I said if they do that, their next destination would be 305 and then 298 to 300. Well, guess what? They got down to 297.45. So they nailed basically what we said they should get to. Now, I also said if they get acceptance inside the month of September, then you could start getting some real trouble. That monthly high is 303.50. The low for that is 260. So it becomes very important not to get acceptance into this 4-month balance. If you don't, if this is all the sellers want to do, well, then maybe we'll get a nice balance inside of here now for 4 months and then see, do we come out of it back to the top of the balance or to the bottom of it? But it basically hit our target on the downside very nicely. Weekly. Again, that hasn't changed. One time framing down for 2 weeks. So until that changes, I would be looking for sales on rally closer to last week's high. And on the daily, we're down. One time framing down, 3 days. Now, the difference so far with triple Qs as opposed to Russell and SPY is they're way below their 50-day moving average, which is at 320.36 right now. So that's very, very important. Right now, they are below the 50-day moving average. Okay, now let's go to SPY and basically ES, because they're the same right now. The only time you're going to see a difference is when we get the dividend in SPY, which is coming up next Friday, but we'll worry about that then. So here's your monthly. One time framing up, 4 months, not including this month yet. Got real close to taking out last month's low, but it didn't. Beautiful defense of it. So one time framing up right now. Weekly, still down. One time framing down 2 weeks, right? Balance, bull, balance. Now we've gone bear. So until we take out last week's high, we're still down. Even if you have for argument's sake, if we have an inside week next week, that's still down. Just because you didn't take out the previous month's low, you certainly didn't take out the previous week's low, you still didn't take out the previous week's high, which would consider it one-time framing down still. That's an important point that a lot of traders fail to realize. Yes, you're coming into some sort of balance, but until you stop the one-time framing down, it is still doing that. Okay, so we're still down in the weekly. And then in the daily, we're daily is in balance. Remember, we came out of that 8 or 9 day balance to the downside on Thursday. Friday, we took out Thursday's high late in the day. I would consider this a 2-day balance right now. If we take out Friday's high on Monday, then you could start encompassing this whole entire balance again. That's how I would look at it. So again, volume on Friday, 152 million. Volume on Thursday, 183. 120 the day before, 152 million on February 26th. This is what we need. We're getting ranges of $10 and volume of 150 million or more. As long as you know how to use MGI properly, you're going to be a successful trader. So there's your breakdowns. I hope you had a good week. Again, not the easiest 2 weeks to trade. You need to be trading with smaller size and wider stops because we're getting time frames of $3, $4, $5. Put that in perspective. Sometimes we have a summer day where we have an entire range of $1. We're getting $4 ranges in 30 minutes. So play with smaller size, wider stops. Otherwise, you're going to get consistently stopped, and you need to play with stops. And your entry is critical. Hope you did have a good week and a good day yesterday. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.